Hi, this is Phaeton from Team Syrard Motorsports, representing Tokyo Union community. I am a keyboard driver, and I'm going to my best ability, explain what I do to go fast, and I will give you tips in this video. So, first things first, you need to use forced throttle. This is very important. You can get forced throttle by downloading Content Manager, and after downloading Content Manager you need to download custom shaders patch. You can watch a guide on YouTube about how to download these. I won't be covering those in this video, I'm sorry. So mouse steering. Normally I use 400 DPI while playing shooter games, but I use 1600 DPI while playing Assetto Corsa. 1600 DPI with 1.00 steering speed is what I use. So if you want to use 400 DPI, you can use 0.25, or if you want to use 800, you can use 0.50. If you decrease this, the steering speed gets faster, which is quite odd in my opinion. I don't know why it works like that, but I use these settings. So force throttle. As stated here, Assetto Corsa has something like a built-in traction control, which is like when you are sliding or just barely drifting, the throttle is reduced by 40%, and it's quite fucked. It doesn't help you with anything unless you're driving a super fast car or 1000 horsepower GTR or something. Even that, it doesn't even help. So you need to get rid of this, and a way to get rid of that is the forced throttle. So a forced throttle will remove that built-in traction control thing. You need to set your forcing modifier and forced throttle keybinds to your actual throttle. So I'm using W for my forcing modifier and forced throttle. That way I can access forced throttle every time I want. Like, it's 100% on all the time. You can, if you don't want to do that, you can just change this to whatever you like. You can even use your macros on your mouse. It doesn't matter, but I prefer this. So lag up. Lag up is just smooths out your throttle when you are applying gas. So this is just personal preference, but 40.8% is around 10 milliseconds of smoothing. So it's quite, to be honest, this is the best settings. I was using 0.8 or something, but I changed that up because it was messing with the balance of the car too much when I was applying gas. So 0.10 milliseconds is alright. Do not touch this. You do not want to mess with the lag down, because when you let go of the gas, you need to let go of the gas soon as possible. This is just dumb. You do not want to use this. Just set it to 0 and forget that it exists. Excuse me. So another thing, always use mouse steering. If you hate yourself and want to suffer, you can use keyboard steering, but that's just sad. Don't use keyboard steering, alright? You can go quite fast. Like, I've heard of people doing 518 on old Akina with AA6 with keyboard steering, but they all eventually switch out the mouse steering. So yeah, you want to use the mouse steering. So we are going to examined some of my replays that I think they're great way to explain what I do to go fast around the courses. I'm going to be giving you tips. I'm going to be pointing out my mistakes in my runs because you need to learn from your mistakes as fast as possible in order to improve your driving. Also, another thing I want to mention, use Sidekick. This is a perfect app for you to understand that if you are fast or not. Like, you go around the corner and if you fuck up, you can see your real-time delta. Like, you can do this. For example, let's say you are just going in turn 1 and you can see your real-time delta. For example, you're at minus 10 milliseconds and you're going to try that. What happens if I do this? Is it faster or not? You can quite easily say that if you use Sidekick. For example, if you drift, which I'm just going to give an example. If you drift, it's slower, but what happens if I grip this corner? Is it faster? And if it's fast, you can see your delta just skyrocketing, and you'll see that, oh yeah, this is faster. I should be doing this. So you can teach yourself if it's fast or not with this app. It's amazing. I recommend this to everybody, not just keyboard drivers, but wheel drivers too. So yeah, we're going to examine the replays now. Right now, we are going to examine my RX-7 run on the old Akina. I choose this because it has a lot of mistakes and I'm going to explain why I did these mistakes. I mean, also what you can do to improve on those mistakes. And what do I do when I want to go fast. So here we go. You can watch my throttle here. This is throttle. This here is, in a second you're going to see his brake. This is clutch, but we don't have access to clutch. So notice my braking here. Watch my braking, what I do. I am using the turbo lag to my advantage. I brake more than I usually do and held the throttle as much as possible at an exit. Like, guys, listen to me. Drifting is not fast. It's a fact. I mean, in certain situations, yes. And in some cars like AE86 tuned, you can get away with sliding quite easily. But you don't want to slide RX-7 at all. So, you're going to see what I do in a second. I'm going to slow down the footage. Watch my inputs. Look what I do. Simple as that. I'm holding the throttle all the way, as you can see. Little bit of counter steer, it's alright. We can live with that. Okay, you do not want to do that. Can you see how I lost so many traction there? Just watch the RPM here. See? You don't want it to slide this car. Okay, this is the most important part of keyboard driving. Let's see you understeered like I did here. It can happen to everybody. It's not just you're bad at driving. Everyone can understeer. Since we don't have partial brake, we cannot trail brake to turn in the car. So what do we do in this situation? It's quite easy. Just tap the handbrake once. Just watch my RPM here. When I tap the handbrake, you see, I won't touch the usual brake. Just tap the handbrake and you'll see the RPM drop and rise quickly. Slow down the footage, as you can see. See? I'm tapping the handbrake to turn the car inside the apex and exit. I use this in my time attacks all the time, and you're going to see it quite often. Most of the time I use this technique for hairpins, such as this here. Watch, you see? Can you see? I'm going to rewind again. See, I'm braking inside the corner. See, right now, if I were a wheel driver, if I had a pedal, I could have just held the brake partially and turned the car inside the corner, but we don't have that luxury. So what we do is tap the handbrake. Tap the handbrake, see? The RPMs are dropping and my car is turning inside the corner. See, let go, handbrake. See, I'm steering the rear of the car inside the apex, so I can exit more straightly and get the most out of my exit. Same here. See, I understeered here again and I wanted to hook this gutter here, so I tap the handbrake and see, my car just turns in. You do not want to spam handbrake all the time because some handbrakes are just pretty strong and it'll just send your car drifting, and you want to avoid that as much as possible. Okay, we're going to move on. What the fuck happened to sound? Doesn't matter. Okay, watch my throttle. I didn't use handbrake, because I was already sliding. When you're already sliding the car, do not use handbrake in RX-7 because it'll just send you straight to that fucking barrier there. So here as you can see, I'm spamming brake as much as possible. Even though this car has ABS, you don't want to just completely slow down. You want to partially slow down and you want to spam those brakes, man. It's not easy by any means, but you need to practice. You can't just pick up keyboard and expect yourself to go fast in a week. This technique, in quotes, technique, requires months of training and a lot of practice. You need dedication and practice. See, we're going to move on. See, as I said, if you understeer or just completely mix the apex, or if you just want to brake lately as possible, you can use this in every single hairpin. See, you can even use handbrake as you are braking. See, watch my RPM drop, and I'm just look at this. My car is sliding right now. Watch the rear of the car. See, I'm sliding partially, counter steer. Beautiful exit. I think I just broke the game. So yeah, a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of mistakes in this run, but I chose this because I like to learn from my mistakes. Now this is a bad corner. I didn't execute it properly. And do not rush your shifts, because you do not want to shift the weight of the car by just slamming the gears like wheel players, because we do not have access to clutch. The clutch with keyboard is only fast enough to be shifting smoothly. You can't just slam the gears like a wheel player. That will just set the balance of the car weirdly, and you'll just either understeer or spin. So 5 consecutive hairpins. The most important part of all the action. Okay, watch my inputs. Racing light, simple, downshift, braking. See, I'm tapping the handbrake. This is the keyboard way of trail braking. Just barely sliding the rear of the car to turn inside the corner. See, watch my RPM. Here, handbrake, tap twice, one more time. See, right now my car is sliding, and I'm using the turbo lag to my advantage and just slide across the hairpin. I'm going to rewind and watch it in real speed. See, that was perfect, almost perfect. See, again, handbrake. Handbrake is crucial in time attack, or generally speaking out of keyboard. It's important. See, look, here I am understeering, and I realize that I am going to understeer, so I just tap the handbrake once and turn the car inside the apex. Here, handbrake. Here, as you can see, the car is turned inside the apex, and I am exiting beautifully. See, handbrake. I fucked this corner up so bad. Another handbrake. See. Another handbrake. Beautiful exit. See, watch my inputs. Again, I'm going to rewind a little bit here. Slow down the footage. See. I'm waiting for the car's suspension to settle down and then use the handbrake. Watch this. Here. Now, as you see, the rear of the car is just collapses. I just wait for this to happen, then use the handbrake. See, now handbrake and turn in, then exit. See, I have shifted the weight towards the outside. Bad exit because I slide the car too much. Say handbrake. Because I used the handbrake before waiting the suspension to settle down, I slided the car because, as you can see, I was already sliding and I tapped the handbrake, and now I'm counter steering. You should always avoid this. You need to grid drive this bitch to its limits. You can, the little bit of sliding at the exits are fine because let's face the fact that this is an RX-7 and it has turbos, and you won't be able to control the throttle. It's not easy to exit smoothly as wheel drivers. I mean, I've even seen the wheel drivers struggling with exits. It's natural with this car. I just cannot believe how this is 508. This run was shit to my opinion. So yeah, this is RX-7. Now we are going to examine my 512 with AE86 tuned on Acuna. So yeah, AE86 Acuna, probably the most played combo of all time. The fuck happened? Never mind. So yeah, Acuna, probably the most played combo of all time. Probably the most popular car of all time in Tokyo Union community. So this is quite an interesting one because unlike the RX-7, this car is harder to drive because it doesn't have ABS. The same handbrake rule goes for this car, but you can also get away with sliding. That's why I slide this car all the time. Notice I'm not just literally drifting the car. I'm just sliding the rear. I mean, check this out. I am trying to trail brake by spamming the brake and using the handbrake at the same time. See, my RPM just bounces all the time. And notice how little counter steer I'm doing while exiting. I'm not just drifting around the corner like this. I'm only sliding the rear of the car inside the corner, but I always exit straightly as possible. See, I'm not just completely sideways. Something is wrong with the sound. I don't know. Oh, okay. So, this is the hardest part. Braking without locking your fucking brakes. This is very important and very hard. You need to spam the brake and make your girlfriend proud, man. This is the most important part. And with braking, here's the deal. All of the stars in the entire planet needs to align for you to get a great run. Like 512 with K-Watt. It took me months of grinding. Sometimes you even need luck. It's an RNG that you'll get a great run. But it's hard to be consistent with keyboard. But we can fix that issue by taking references around the course. For example, take braking points on your mind. Like, let's see, I'm approaching this corner. The braking point for this corner for me is this bush right here. See that? Let's activate the free camera. See? Where are you going? Come back. As you can see, once I hit this bush, I start braking. Because I know the fact that when I start braking here, I will always going to have enough speed to slow down and clear this turn as fast as possible. Without crashing, of course. This is so slow. Here, we don't have turbo lag on this car because it's naturally aspirated, so you need to make your girlfriend proud with the throttle as well. See, I'm sliding the car inside the corner. Notice I'm not just drifting. See, my sliding ends when I'm about to exit the corner. See, I don't slide anymore, I just exit like a grip driver. This is the thing you want to achieve the E86. If you, I mean, you can also drive full grip, but it's up to you. I just feel more comfortable while doing this. See, this corner is very hard. I don't have a braking point, I just brake by feel on this corner. I usually use this little pole for reference, but my speed will always be different in this corner because it's really hard. See, I locked up, but I know I will lock up here. That was intentional because see how the guardrail widens over here. So when you can use this widening, you can just launch yourself inside this turn, like I do here. This corner is very important and hard to execute. Oh, I executed that almost perfectly, to be honest. See, hairpins. Again, breaking point reference. Around here. Yes, this bush, around this bush, I start braking. Notice my line. I'm always at the furthest edge of the corner and slide the car inside the corner. And I brake as I slide in. I drifted way too much on this corner, but it worked out beautifully. See, exiting, no counter steer. Okay, this corner, weight shifting, is very important. See, I shifted the weight just a little. Just a little. Notice the suspension of the car. Here. How it settles on the right side. See, this side is lower than this side. So I have shifted the weight and I'm braking as I slide. I drift this corner because if I hook this tire inside the gutter, it feels faster for me. I don't know, I feel more comfortable while doing this. See, the tire is inside the gutter now and I'm exiting like a madman. I'm slamming on that throttle. Watch my inputs. See, the point, the technique of my driving is I slide the car because I feel more comfortable controlling the car mid-turn. Because let's say you couldn't shift the weight properly and you do not want to lose your time on exit, alright? The exit is more important. So I intentionally lose time on entry, but I gain my time back on exit. Because I know the fact that if I fuck up my weight shift, and obviously we can turn the car without trail brake, even with the handbrake, it's quite controversial that we can turn the car in. You do not want to let go of the gas at exit because let's face the fact that this is strong line. This is a long straight line. So you want to get the most out of it by exiting without slowing down. See, I'm losing quite a bit of time, but I'm gaining it back on mid corner and at exiting. The most important part is exiting. See, I'm not losing a lot of traction at all. But this technique doesn't work with every single car because E86 can get away with sliding quite easily. You won't be able to do this in an RX-7 or an NSX. See, another breaking point reference. This bush. Right when I see this bush that I'm about to approach it, I slam on the brakes. But I don't lock up because I know when you go faster, it takes longer for you to lock up. You can't just lock up instantly. As I'm about to lock up my tires, I let go of the brake and start spamming it. See, normally if you held the brake here, you can lock up here, but I let go of the brake and I let the car slide inside the corner. And I go wide, then downshift, and I keep braking. See, I'm just letting go and downshifting and braking at the same time. Now I'm giving a little bit of gas because I slowed down too much. As you can see, I am tapping the brake to line myself with the gutter, and now I'm exiting. I'm not just holding it because I know I will slide when I exit the gutter here, as you can see. Because because when you leave the gutter, you'll always slide, unless you're completely straight or not exiting at this kind of angle. I slide because the slope is reducing my grip as I exit. So yeah, I hope I covered everything that I know. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section or contact me from the Discord. You can also join Tokyo Union community, and if you want to be in a team, just join kaido.net, and you can get an invite from Tokyo Union Discord server to kaido.net, and you can contact me from Discord. I will try to answer your questions to my best ability. And that's it. See ya.